Okay, we're up to Os Daled, and the topic of the general section is Nevuah, prophecy, but we're not even up to prophecy yet, because the only way to understand prophecy is to fully, or at least to partially, to begin to understand what is the nature of the soul, the neshama, because that is really the medium through which prophecy exists, and therefore what he's been doing is he's been describing to us the different parameters of the soul. So yesterday he spoke about the fact that our soul is limited. It's limited in the sense that since it is connected to our body, it therefore has certain limitations, and now he's going to describe another feature of the soul. Okay, so he says like this, Os Daled, V'amnam. However, even though we've been describing the soul as a single entity, in reality, it is made up of many different components and different levels. He says the truth is, if we wanted to describe the soul properly, a more accurate description would be many links in a chain. If you want to imagine your soul, think of your soul as, it's connected down below. It's connected to your blood, through your bloodstream, but then that is the lowest link. And then there's level after level after level. And it goes all the way down to the blood, and it goes all the way from down below to up above. Next paragraph. It's possible that components, that links of this chain will be removed, and then they could also be returned. And you will not feel a difference in your body whatsoever. These implications, these activities of the soul are not necessarily felt by the body. And you don't have any difference in terms of your life ability, your life force, or your emotions, your feelings. The difference is only going to reside in the impact of our actions. So, for example, today, right now, for whatever reason, you may have lost certain links of your chain. You're learning Torah like you did yesterday morning, right? And the impact of your Torah today may be radically different than the impact yesterday. Either maybe more links were added on, and your soul is actually going to be rooted in a higher place, and therefore have a greater connection, or for whatever reason, you may have lost links due to your activity or your inactivity, and therefore the impact of your mitzvah is going to be much less. The classic example, which he quotes over here, which we're going to have to stop over here just because we're running out of time, and that is Shabbos. The Gemara tells us that on Shabbos you get an extra soul. He says, it doesn't mean an extra soul. It's not like, boom, you now just got a second soul placed into your body. What it means is that there are more, every Shabbos, every single individual has extra links attached to their soul. And what that means is that, therefore, since we have extra links attached to the soul at the top of the soul, that means that our soul is rooted in a higher place. And that means that the impact of our mitzvah on Shabbos, or impact of any of our activities on Shabbos, is much greater than it is on a regular day, right? So again, I think I mentioned this example before. If you had to choose, do I learn on a Tuesday morning, Monday morning, or on a Shabbos morning? Okay, theoretically, if all things were equal, we'd say do it on Shabbos, because your impact on Shabbos is much greater, because your soul is extra. By extra, it means there's extra links, and therefore it's rooted higher. Now, it's interesting, maybe tomorrow we'll come back to this. He is of the opinion that you cannot feel this. I don't believe that's agreed upon by everyone. There are other opinions who will say that, no, maybe you could actually feel the impact of those higher or lower souls, but God willing, we'll try to come back to that tomorrow. But his point is, just generally to understand, there isn't one soul, or one soul and a higher soul, or even nefesh, ruach, and neshama, which is going to talk about a little bit more, but there are endless links, and we could be rooted in a higher place or lower place, depends on a whole bunch of factors.